This episode is not the friends with benefits you're probably thinking about. This isn't about bodies, it's about access. It's about friendships that only exist when there's something to gain. Connections that stay hidden until there's an audience. Relationships that only surface when being seen with you benefit them. And see, the thing is, we live in a world that is obsessed with image. And some people don't even choose friends for connection, they choose them for positioning. And here's the scary part that we're talking about today. Most of us don't realize we're being used until the benefits run out. And I want to ask you this question. Have you ever noticed how some people only show up when being seen with you benefits them? They're absent in private and then they become visible in public. They know your name, but not your weight. And that's what we're talking about today. This episode is called Friends with Benefits. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Hope Renewal podcast. This is where faith meets real life and hard truth is held with compassion. Again, this is your favorite host, Antonio Banks. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope and pray that this message speaks to your heart. And if it does, that you do not keep it to yourself, but you will share it with somebody else. So, this version of Friends with Benefits isn't mutual, it's strategic. One person enters the relationship already knowing what they want. And they don't even ask you this question: how can I support you? They ask, how does knowing you make me look? So they flatter. They agree with everything you say. They laugh a little too hard. They show up when it counts, but only when it's visible. And behind closed doors, the friendship is thin, but in public, it's loud. See, this relationship isn't about loyalty, it's about optics. So the moment you stop serving the image, the friendship starts to fade. Let me repeat that. The moment you stop serving the image, the friendship starts to fade. And sometimes it takes more than once. You don't notice it. It feels like support. It feels like a connection. But over time, something feels off. The conversation stays surface level. The support disappears when you struggle. And the energy only shows up when there's something to gain. What you thought was a bond starts to feel like a burden. And see, the thing is, transactional friendships don't even carry weight well. They collapse under pressure. So when life hits, when the lights turn off, when the crowd disappears, and so do they. And see, it happens at work. And I know some of you that are listening right now shaking your head, yes, it does. You've seen it. Someone attaches themselves to the most connected person in the room. And it don't even benefit them. They don't want to learn. They don't want to grow. They just want to be seen. They compliment everything, agree with everything, and laugh at jokes that aren't even funny. So when the opportunity comes, people say how they get that position. Well, the answer is very simple. They knew the right people, and knowing people isn't the same as being loyal to them. Let me repeat that. Knowing people isn't the same as being loyal to them. And we see this in a little circle group, social circles, I call it. And it's pretty loud. See, people bounce from friend to friend, and they bounce always towards influence, popularity, or success. And they're present at the right events, tagged in the right photos, standing next to the right people. See, the friendship only exists when there's an audience watching. And I want to be honest because this is what we do on the Hope and Renewal podcast. We see this in churches too. And this part probably is uncomfortable for some of you, but it's necessary. See, the church wasn't meant to be a place of humility, love, and growth. Sometimes it becomes a stage, and people align themselves with pastors, leaders, and influential families. And it's not out of shared faith. It's just out of proximity to power. They volunteer to be seen. They sit in visible places. They post the right pictures. See, when real spiritual weights show up, when someone needs prayer or accountability or sacrifice, they vanish. Now their presence was never about worship. It was about positioning. And sometimes, to be honest, it happens in your family. A relative suddenly they get close when you get a new job or gain attention. They say your name proudly until the season changes. Then the stats fades, so do the cogs. And we see this in the Bible with the Pharisees. They loved public honor more than private obedience. Their relationships were about image, not integrity. And Jesus called it out plainly. They did everything to be seen. Herod and the Magi did the same thing. Herod pretended to be friendship. Magi pretended to worship. See, his heart was filled with fear and control. That wasn't a relationship. That was manipulation. We see this in Samson and Delilah. See, Samson thought he was in love. Delilah saw him as leverage. He gave her access to his strength. She sold it for the reward. See, and that's what happens when you mistake attention for loyalty. Now, here's the contrast. The world offers friendship based on convenience. God offers friendship based on covenant. See, Jesus says it like this: greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. God's friendship cost him something. See, it doesn't disappear when you fall. It doesn't even leave when the benefits stop. It stays, it corrects, it walks with you through the valley. And I want to close with this. So let me leave you with this. Not everyone who smiles with you stands for you. Not everyone who walks beside you will carry weight when the road gets heavy. Yes, that realization hurts. It means some connections you valued were never rooted in love, only in benefit. And here's why I want to tell you that hope is still here. Hope is still here because discernment is not lost. It's growth. You didn't fail because someone used you. You learned. You saw clearly. Clarity is a form of healing. Hope is still here because God didn't expose those friendships to shame you. He exposed them to protect you. So some relationships had to fall away so your heart could finally rest instead of performing. And I want to tell you why renewal is still possible. Renewal is possible because of the loss of access to people. And that does not mean losing your worth. It means God is refining who has permission to walk with you into your next season. Renewal happens when you stop mistaking proximity for loyalty and attention for love. Renewal happens when you make room for friendships that don't need a spotlight and don't need leverage and don't need something in return. The kind that stays when there's nothing left to gain. See, God's friendship doesn't disappear when the benefits stop. It doesn't leave when the season changes. It doesn't even vanish when the crowd fades. It stays, it steadies, and it restores. So if you're walking away from connection that felt real but working, you're not losing community. You're making space for health. See, sometimes the most renewing thing you can do is release what was never real to begin with. This is the Hope and Renewal Podcast. Until next time, guard your heart, walk in wisdom, and remember, hope is still alive and renewal is always possible, especially when you choose truth over access. Now let me say this before we go, because some of you are realizing something hard right now. Some of the friendships you trusted weren't built on connection. They were built on convenience. And that realization hurts. It doesn't mean you're foolish. It means you have a good heart. And this is why I guess hope is still here, because awareness is not the end, it's the beginning.